Hi, this is my third video regarding INFPs. Um, I just wanted to talk about some personal examples of what I think is typical INFP behavior. I feel like I have a lot of these, so I just thought I would share them and see if any other INFPs out there relate to some of them, most of them, all of them. I'm interested to know. Um, Okay, so the first one I think that is often found in INFPs is a tendency to anthropomorphize animals and even objects. I don't think that's considered anthro. I know maybe it is. I'm not sure. It might be another word for it. But you just give personality, like human personality, to the objects and animals and everything around you. This was especially strong when I was younger. I remember like so many kids, I had a large stuffed animal collection, and I remember I would arrange them in a way. I had to arrange them in a way where all their faces were facing the front. Like I couldn't just throw them into a heap and just let them sit there. I had to have all their faces showing because I felt like each deserved the respect of not having their face smothered by another stuffed animal. So I realized that they weren't real. I didn't actually think that they had feelings, but I don't think I did. I had that, I just felt like they deserved that respect, like that human respect. Yeah, so, and another way, I do this is um, I've always just, really, I'm going to use the word respect again, respected like all forms of life. Like I was never somebody who could smush a bug. If I find a bug inside the house, I'll bring it outside, or if it's cold outside, I'll put it in the largest houseplant I have, just so that it can, live a bit longer and maybe enjoy its little life. Like, and I know that kind of thing sounds crazy to some people. They go, it's just a bug, but to me, I see it as its own entity deserving respect and care. And I just, same thing with like houseplants. I just had to give away a bunch of houseplants because I had like 60, maybe more houseplants, and it was becoming too much. I couldn't take care of them all anymore. But the reason why I had so many is because I kept on saving ones that were left over. My mom owns a flower shop, and sometimes some of the plants, they stay there too long, they get forgotten about, and they don't look as good, right? They're not as healthy. And so I would take them home and nurture them back to health. Like even plants, I just have this tendency to see it as, something that wants to be cared for. And I just don't like, yeah, I'm definitely not as much like this as I once was. Um, I've learned the natural order of things, and some things must die. But I think this whole idea of putting personality into everything and feeling bad for objects and, animals, creatures of all kinds, I think it's a really INFP behavior, typical INFP behavior. Wow, that took like 4 minutes. I'm sorry. Okay, so the second point I think that's very stereotypically INFP is an intense fear of being judged. Again, I think this is especially when we're younger. I know when I was really young, I was super outgoing and talked to everyone. You couldn't shut me up. But about halfway through elementary school, I started to become a lot more shy and reserved, and that continued on till later, junior high school, and afterwards, where I developed like social anxiety. You think everyone's judging you really harshly, and so you don't know how to act around people. You don't want to be around people. I think this comes from our dominant use of FI. Because we're constantly judging things around us, we assume that other people are doing the same thing. Yeah, like if you've ever, like I've just noticed, um, those people, like you meet people who, don't have a judgmental bone in their body. They don't realize that a lot of times, especially when they're younger, of course, we all learn these things as we age, but when they're younger, they don't realize that other people can be judgmental. And that's often why people, really love those kind of naive types who just think everybody's friends and everything's all good. Because they don't have the quality in themselves and they don't see it in other people. So I think in the reverse way, INFPs have that quality. FI is a judging function, even though, it's a judging function. So I think we just assume that everyone is judging us. Again, I think as you age, it becomes less so because you realize that, people don't care enough about you to judge you harshly. People are more focused on their own kind of thing. But that's my second point. I'm not going to do all these points because I didn't realize it would take me this long. So third one is when I was younger, I was very clumsy. I think this has to do with our first two functions being non-sensing. Being feeling and intuitive. I think it really can keep a person in their head and not very aware of their surroundings. I was definitely clumsy. Wasn't moderate clumsiness. It was like a part of my personality. Like everyone, my family always made fun of me for it. My friends did. It was a main feature of my personality. And although I'm less clumsy now, I think, it's because I've become more balanced with my functions. I think that's probably common to INFPs when they're younger. And I'd like to hear if any other INFPs have had that experience. Okay, so another thing I think is pretty typically an INFP characteristic is, a tendency to like things that aren't popular or maybe considered weird by the majority of people. Growing up, I definitely had like a knee-jerk reaction to anything that was popular. My reaction was to go the opposite way, to kind of play like devil's advocate, like everyone likes this movie, this book, this artist. I don't like it, I wanted to find my own things to connect with. I don't like the idea of liking something everybody likes. It's, I want, I guess, INFPs like to feel special, or, it's what people say. I know I have interests that other people just, they would not like or understand, and sometimes I like things solely just because they're weird. It's not even more than that. It's not even more of a deeper connection with it. I just like the fact that it's weird. It's different. I've always been drawn to that kind of stuff. So I think that is a major INFP quality. I guess the last one I'll mention is writing. I started keeping a journal when I was really young. I started writing songs when I was 16 or 17. I still write them now, not very often because I'm in school, but I really enjoy writing lyrics and melodies, and I'm drawn to really sad, melodramatic types of melodies. I think that's pretty INFP typical. And as far as lyrics go, like things that are mostly like philosophical or just really focused on identity, like who I am, I write crappy poetry, like nothing I'm really proud of. Like anything that's moderately good, I turn it into a song. But still, there's just that need to always be writing in some way, small way. Even if it's just like writing notes on my iPod. On my iPod, they have those little functions, like note functions. Even if it's that, it's like a big need for me. And I think that kind of thing comes with INFPs. We're thinking people. We have we have thoughts. We like to make connections between things, but we're not so good at always talking about them. I'm stumbling through this video, and I wrote notes. Brief notes. But if I didn't write the notes, I just wouldn't get through it. I think generally INFPs aren't very fluent speakers, and so I think that's why we're drawn towards writing, because we can, edit and stop and focus and, just take as much time as we want to find each perfect word. And I know I get a lot of satisfaction of appearing eloquent, even if it's just when words, it's written eloquence. That gives me so much pleasure, because in everyday life I just don't have that. I just it rarely comes to me. Okay, so I had more points, but I'm going to stop there. Those are my personal examples of typical INFP behavior. If you relate to any of these or want to add something, anything really, please comment. I love to hear from people. Okay, great. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.